This is a presentation on my findings from the digital marketing course that I went on at the University of Auckland. I'll present on my findings and also on some ideas and inspiration that I have come away with. So firstly, what I learnt. We'll discuss the digital marketing landscape currently in New Zealand, some things to consider when forming a digital marketing strategy, and some tactics and how we measure success. We'll then discuss some opportunities and recommendations that I have for Creative Bay Plenty, what channels I think we should be using, some objectives that I've come up with, and what our content could look like. So why use digital marketing? The way that we consume information is rapidly becoming less traditional and more digital. Digital marketing is measurable and it allows analysis in real time. We can reach more than one target audience with targeted messages. It builds brand reputation and company personification. It allows companies to earn trust, and really importantly, marketing can be enabled 24/7, 365 days a year. So looking at New Zealand's digital landscape, we have a total population of 4.77 million, and there are 6.35 million mobile subscriptions, so at least 1.5 mobile subscriptions per person. Out of the total population, 4.22 million are internet users, 3.4 million are active social media users, and really interestingly, 3.1 million of those active social media users are active mobile social media users. Looking at some channels in the New Zealand digital landscape, obviously we've got Facebook at the top with the most popular, right down to Twitter with only 500,000 monthly active users. Some trends to note at the moment. Mobile use. Mobile is key. More searches take place on mobile now than on desktop. Mobile internet usage is more than double desktop usage, and Google will deprioritize websites that are not optimized for mobile. Good marketing considers mobile users' needs, so Wi-Fi versus data consumption, length and orientation of video, viewability at small sizes, time of day of consumption. Another trend is location-based advertising. So wherever we go these days, we're pretty much always carrying a mobile phone with us. Location-based messaging allows marketers to be timely, relevant and targeted. For example, you might be able to target people who have checked into a location near you or a place that's relevant to your product. So here in Tauranga, someone that's checked in at the top of the mount could be a good target audience if your company sells running shoes, for example. Video dominates the internet more than ever before. By 2020, online videos will make up more than 80% of all consumer internet traffic. And YouTube is the second most trafficked site after Google. Insights is an important thing to look at. So the use of data-driven marketing is being used more and more to target specific audiences, and this data is now readily available to us. Paid reach. Organic reach on social media really is dying in terms of marketing. So for most brands, putting up a post without any paid support will lead to vastly reduced reach and engagement. Some things to consider when forming a strategy. Number one, our situation. So where are we now? How are we performing currently? What are our current customer insights? What does our competition look like? Two, our objectives. So what are our objectives as an organisation? This is about getting who to what by when. Our actual strategy, so defining our target audience, working out how we target that audience, working out which channels are going to work the best for that, and then developing appropriate content. Number four, tactics. So who does what and when, frequency of communication, choosing the right resources and tools, formulating and sticking to a budget plan. And finally, measuring success. So looking at our objectives, how is those progresses going? Channels, what do the numbers say about our reach and engagement? And what are our trends? Situation analysis. So in terms of analysing the situation we're currently in, we can look at two things: Google Analytics and Facebook Insights. So Google Analytics can measure how many people visit our website and where they live. Is our website mobile friendly? What marketing tactics drive the most traffic to our website? Which pages on our website are the most popular? How many visitors have we then converted into customers? Or in our case, people that are asking for our support in the arts sector. How can we improve our website's usability, so ease of speed, logicality, and what content do our visitors like the most? Facebook Insights, we can measure, we can track our progress, noting the peaks and troughs in terms of followers, engagements, views, likes, comments, etc. We can track our audience, who is engaging with us and who isn't. Are the people that are engaging with us who we think our target audience is, or do we need to redefine that? And best times to post, most popular post format, and it can give us some advice on post frequency. So in general, there are 5 key types of digital marketing business objectives: growing sales, adding value to existing or potential customers, getting closer to customers, saving costs for the business, and creating brand awareness / amplifying the brand online. In terms of your target audience, it's really important to focus on defining that. So the more accurately you can focus on who is most likely to buy your product, or in our case, use our service, the less likely you are to waste time and resources. Having a really detailed targeting profile or audience means that you're more likely to cut straight through to your demographic, which is quite crucial in today's really crowded online marketing space. It also means that if you're using social media platforms like Facebook, which offer really detailed targeting, having a very detailed idea of who you want to reach allows smaller marketing budgets to go further. Building your target audience, that can be built through a system such as a CRM, looking at your website analytics, social media research, so your Facebook analytics, or putting out a survey. Then there are some categories within your audience. So you want to think about their demographics, their age, gender, income, education, location, occupation, etc. Their behaviours, so where they get their news, how they consume their media, who they look up to, and their lifestyle, their hobbies, interests, entertainment, travel, commuting habits. This is an interesting one. So when is your audience sitting in public transport or stuck in traffic? If they're on a bus, think about releasing promotion at a commuter time in the morning and in the format of something like a photo or a text that isn't going to take up their data. They're not going to be very likely to watch your video if they're on their data at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. Or if they're sitting in a car, stuck in traffic, consider something hands-free. So a podcast ad or a radio ad, for example. So this is a formula for choosing the right channels. First of all, you want to define your target audience, identify the channels that they're using. Then you want to define your organization's objectives and identify the channels that are going to be compatible with those objectives. Finally, you want to sense check against your content. Is your content suited to the channels that you've chosen? So, some key ideas around content. Really focus on what is important to your customer. So really try and understand the people that you're trying to reach. Create value for your customer. Help your customer solve their problems. Be entertaining. Be authentic. Remember that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And tell your story. Don't sell your story. Also, quite importantly, your content should serve all parts of the funnel, the customer conversion funnel. Awareness, consideration, conversion, loyalty, and advocacy. So awareness is simply just creating brand awareness through interesting content. Consideration, when they're really considering whether or not to get on board with what you're selling. Converting, so being converted to a customer. Becoming loyal, so purchasing multiple times or using your services multiple times. And then becoming an advocate, so recommending your services or products to other people. Some tactics to consider: communication frequency. You want to consider which platform you're using, the resources that are available to create content. You could do some testing and some consumer feedback. So if people are unsubscribing from your newsletter, for example, you may be emailing too much. Consider whether you're going to use a campaign or a permanent content. Resourcing, some things to consider here are planning your content, creating your content, social listening, so that's using your Google or Facebook analytics, planning your keywords, creating ads or campaigns, email testing and sending, and optimizations of times, frequency, spend, etc. Some things to consider within your budget, any software you might be using, subscriptions to tools you might be using to create content, any media spend, any training budget. And then your content calendar. Consider making a plan. An interesting tip our tutor gave was, if you don't usually have a content calendar, begin by planning your marketing 1 month in advance. Work your way up to 3 months. Don't overwhelm yourself. Measuring success. So we need to define our success measures. We could define them by our objectives. Have we reached them? How far away are we? Or by our channel. What do our analytics look like now? We could look at our trends. How many engaged users do we have? Is that increasing or decreasing? We could look at our community growth as a whole. We could look at our brand awareness, so our page or account likes, post reach, competition entries, comments and shares, and event attendance. Some things to test the success, some creative things you could test are your headlines, so which ones gain more clicks, the size of your promotion, the imagery, so the layout, format, video styles, the landing pages where you're sending people, even things like your email subject lines, what's working, what isn't. Some non-creative things you could test are time of day, week or year, the geography that you're using, and your targeting. So would an adjustment of your targeting improve your reach, engagement, etc.? So some opportunities and recommendations that I have for Creative Bay of Plenty. Here are 5 objectives that I've come up with that I think could be useful. 1, increase our brand awareness / perception. So really clarify our role as an organisation within the arts sector. Number 2, grow sales. So that's obviously we're not for profit, but this is growing engagement from the creative community, growing attendance of Instagram workshops, for example, achieving our KPIs so as to sustain further funding. Number 3, adding value to existing clientele. Now that could be in the form of offering Instagram marketing workshops as a service. Number 4, increasing customer loyalty. So NPS increase, recommending the services of CBOP. Organic growth on digital channels. And number 5, define / understand our target audience. So looking at channels, what channels can we best utilise to send people to our website? I've highlighted in red the ones that we already use and green the ones I think that we could consider using. A blog, this is really good for longer form content, so we could use it as a hub where we store our articles, interviews with creatives, anything that requires more spatial formatting. This would also help to unclutter our website. We could link the blog to our newsletter so that people can subscribe and get blog updates as well. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. This is a collection of tactics used to increase the number and quality of visitors to a website by optimizing the content, accessibility and credibility of the website so that you're appearing in the top of the Google search. That's essentially what it is. Key areas of this, you want to keep your content nice and natural and relevant to visitors' objectives, otherwise they're not going to arrive at your website at all. Backlinks, so having really relevant links to any outside credible sources. Again, mobile optimization, making sure that you're consistent with customer experience regardless of the device that they're using. Any technical factors, encryption, security, code, and then any hygiene factors, so geographical information, site maps, contact information, etc. I think this is quite an important thing for any organisation to consider. It's something that is a little bit more time consuming and will only work through organic work, so that's something to consider. And then YouTube's the second largest search engine in the world after Google. As I said before, by 2020, 80% of the internet's online information will be in the format of videos. So this could be used as a storage hub for our videos. Any things that we do, interviews with creatives, reporting from creative events, resources such as this one. It's quite a nice and neat way to store our video content in one place, and then we can link it back from there. So some things that create value for the consumer. Information, are you teaching them something new? Utility, are you giving them something that they can use, and instructional. Entertainment, pretty self-explanatory. Monetary, are they gaining any monetary value from this? Or emotive, so are they going to get any emotive reaction from this? I have come up with a little idea for some of these. So in terms of providing informative value for our consumer, we could create a promotional video of our role, where we each introduce ourselves and speak about our roles within the organisation, a sort of meet the team type thing, which could be really good for achieving objective number 1, clarifying our role as an organisation within the arts sector. Utility, something that they can use and come away with, is a little short tips and tricks Instagram video. So a short, like 60-second long video of some tips and tricks around Instagram marketing, and then you could say at the end, if you want to see more, come and apply to attend one of our Instagram courses. A music vlog, so we could attend concerts featuring musicians who we have previously supported, cut all the footage together to form a music video blog, essentially. This also supports objective number 1, about clarifying our role in the sector. Monetary wise, we are a not-for-profit organisation. This doesn't apply to us as much. I'm sure there's a way that we could use this to our advantage, but at the moment this is mainly focused on businesses selling a product, and this is offering sales or deals to the consumer. And then showcasing past support in the format of a video. This could be quite emotive, so we could interview creatives that we've supported in the past, asking them to tell us their story, how CBOP helped get them where they are now, cut all that footage together and use it as a sort of as an advocational video, which could also sit on our YouTube channel. So to sum up, this is sort of what a digital marketing strategy could look like. Once we've defined our target audience, we need to work out which channels our audience is using. So we define our target audience, we work out the channels that they're using, then we look at our objectives, and from that we look at what channels are going to be really compatible with those objectives. Thank you very much for listening.